Hello and welcome to the Luv Doc Podcast with hosts Waldo Wachewski and Ophelia Brewski.
Have you ever asked someone like a really remarkably simple question?
Oh, sure. Like, what do you want for dinner?
Yeah, exactly. Or just, how was your day? And then, instead of a normal answer, you get this completely wild, unpredictable, just tangentially related rant.
Oh, absolutely.
You know the feeling, like you ask whether they want tacos or pizza, and suddenly, you're pinned against the kitchen counter.
Right, listening to
this frantic, breathless lecture about, I don't know, the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
And you're just blinking slowly, trying to retrace the steps of the conversation in your head. Like, wait, how did we get here?
It feels like conversational vertigo.
Yes.
Because you assume you're walking on solid, predictable ground, right? And then without any warning, the floor just drops out, and you are tumbling down this rabbit hole of someone else's unchecked stream of consciousness.
Exactly. And that specific sensation, that kind of conversational whiplash, is exactly what we're exploring today.
We're getting into a good one.
It's written by the Luv Doc, and the piece itself is titled Undone.
Such a dramatic title.
It is. And our mission today is to look at how a very relatable, honestly very modern relationship dilemma about an AI-generated apology email.
Which is becoming so common.
So common. How this simple advice question spirals completely out of control into this highly charged, massive political essay.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just start with the letter itself.
Yeah. Let's lay out the facts.
It comes from a woman calling herself Bothered in Barton Hills.
Classic advice column pseudonym.
Oh, always. So she writes to the Luv Doc to explain that she and her boyfriend were at her best friend's house party on a Saturday night. And by her own admission, they had both been drinking for quite a while.
Which is a detail she includes specifically to contextualize the poor decision-making that follows.
Oh, 100%. So she's sitting in the living room talking with friends, but, the trajectory of a good house party, right?
Oh, yeah. Eventually it gets too loud.
Too loud, too crowded, and incredibly stuffy.
Yeah.
She just needs a break from the sensory overload.
Her-
So she tells her group she's heading to the bathroom, but instead, she slips out the back door onto the patio.
Smart move.
Right. And the house overlooks a greenbelt, so she gets this nice cool breeze. She sits down in a lawn chair and just starts playing fetch with her friend's dog.
It sounds lovely, honestly.
It paints a very idyllic decompression sort of picture,
Yeah, she's clearly seeking a moment of isolation.
Exactly.
The contrast between that chaotic, hot interior of the party and the quiet, cool exterior of the greenbelt, it's a classic setup for needing a breather.
Except, of course, the isolation doesn't last.
Naturally.
A guy she doesn't know wanders out onto the patio. He sits down near her, introduces himself, and they just start making small talk.
And according to her letter, this is entirely innocent.
Entirely innocent. They're literally just talking about how nice the weather is and, complimenting the friend's backyard.
Yeah.
She estimates they're chatting for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, tops.
Which is an incredibly standard interaction for a gathering of mutual friends.
Totally. But then the boyfriend comes outside.
No.
Yeah. He is visibly upset. He completely abandons any kind of social grace.
Right. He just zeroes in on her.
He announces he's been looking all over for her, and he demands she take him home immediately because he's too drunk to drive himself.
Wow.
Yeah. She notes in the letter that she wasn't ready to leave, but she caves and takes him home anyway, primarily, she says, so she doesn't have to worry about his safety.
Right. So the tension shifts from the party to the confined space of the car ride home.
Yes.
Which is where the real conflict detonates.
They argue the entire way.
Yeah.
And he finally admits that he was angry specifically because she disappeared to go talk to some random guy on the patio.
Ah, there it is.
There it is. So she drops him off at his place, and the communication just completely severs.
The silent treatment.
Yep. They give each other the silent treatment for the rest of the night, and the entirety of Sunday passes without a single text or call.
The classic relationship standoff.
Oh, yeah.
Basically a test of endurance to see who's going to break the ice first.
Exactly. And on Monday, he finally breaks.
Okay.
He sends her an emailed apology.
An email.
An email. But the twist in her letter, the whole reason she's writing to the column, is that she reads this email and instantly knows he didn't write it.
Oh, wow.
She clocks it as AI generated immediately.
How does she know for sure?
Well, she knows he rarely uses email for personal stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But more importantly, she knows his voice.
Right.
The vocabulary, the cadence, it just isn't him. So she confronts him about it.
And does he deny it?
No. He admits it. His defense is that he used the chatbot simply to, quote, help him get his thoughts together.
Which is a very common excuse these days.
Yeah. But bothered in Barton Hills is left feeling entirely unsettled. She writes to the Luv Doc asking, like, who is actually being sincere here? The boyfriend or the machine?
Right.
And she asks, should she end the relationship over this?
It's a huge question.
It is. And to me, it feels like this modern update to Cyrano de Bergerac.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Right. You have the inarticulate guy relying on a ghostwriter to woo the woman, but the poet in the bushes has been replaced by a browser tab.
Yeah.
But I really struggle with his defense here. Because, honestly, if I receive an apology that was sped out by an algorithm, my first thought isn't, oh, he's struggling to find the right words.
What's your first thought?
My first thought is that he just doesn't care enough to try. It just feels lazy. Does outsourcing the drafting of an apology inherently strip it of its sincerity?
Well, that's the core friction of this whole dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the gap between his internal intent and his external execution. I mean, think about the physical sensation of sitting at a keyboard. You know you've damaged a relationship, and you're just staring at a blinking cursor.
It's awful.
The blank page is deeply intimidating.
That's true.
So it is highly possible his intent was actually genuine. He knew he messed up at the party, he felt remorse, and he desperately wanted to fix it.
Okay, I see that.
He just outsourced the labor of articulation because he feared his own words wouldn't be eloquent enough to save him.
But the labors are the whole point.
I agree. And that is exactly why she feels shortchanged here. For the letter writer, the apology isn't just a transfer of information.
Right.
The sincerity is embedded in the struggle. By using the AI, he bypassed the emotional heavy lifting.
Yeah, he took a shortcut.
Exactly. It breaches a boundary of intimacy because the voice asking for forgiveness isn't actually the voice of the man she loves.
So you have this incredibly rich, nuanced interpersonal conflict, right?
It's fascinating.
It really is. And you'd expect an advice columnist to eagerly dive into the ethics of digital communication or modern dating etiquette.
You would think so.
But the Luv Doc doesn't do that at all.
No, the Luv Doc takes a completely different path.
Totally different. The Luv Doc opens the response by complaining about the letter itself.
Yeah, that was surprising.
The column literally starts with, oh great, another opportunity to talk about AI.
Right.
The Luv Doc actually lists out the details from the letter. The jealousy, the drinking, the Austin Greenbelt playing fetch with the dog, and bemoans being robbed of the chance to write about those, quote, juicy topics.
Because the Luv Doc feels manipulated by the narrative structure the letter writer used.
Exactly. The Luv Doc compares bothered in Barton Hills to an O. Henry twist, essentially saying, you set me up with this dramatic, relatable party scene, and then you hit me with the AI twist at the very last second. Touché, I am undone.
Which is where the title comes from. And the theatricality of that response is a deliberate rhetorical setup.
It really is. Because the Luv Doc then jokes that all that's left to do is to, quote, drivel on for a few hundred words about how AI is going to ruin everything good and wholesome about humanity.
Standard anti-AI rhetoric.
Right. But the very next sentence is, look, if that were actually the case, it means Donald Trump was created by AI. Impossible. Well, maybe if AI stands for asshole idiot.
Yep.
There it is.
Wait, stop right there. When I first read this, I was completely lost.
I don't blame you.
I'm reading this advice column. We are talking about a bad party foul and a dog in a greenbelt, and literally in 3 sentences, we are suddenly talking about a president and the fall of humanity.
It's whiplash.
How does this happen? I mean, is the Luv Doc using the advice column format as a Trojan horse to just vent personal political frustrations rather than actually helping the letter writer?
Well, it's a deliberate structural hijack.
Okay.
Are you miffled that no one thought to buy you some flossy Luv Doc merch for your last birthday, anniversary, bat or bar mitzvah, graduation, baby or bridal shower? Your outrage is completely justified. Let it out and then get some revenge on your unthoughtful friends and loved ones by web surfing over to thepleasurecraft.com and buying all the dope merch your closets and storage spaces can hold. Remember, money is only temporary, but Luv Doc merch lasts easily a decade or so with proper care. At least that's what the merch company rep told us when he took us to that expensive strip club.
The Luv Doc's annoyed by the prevalence of AI as a talking point in society, so he is using hyperbole to blow the concept completely out of proportion.
Got it.
Think about it. The letter writer is afraid of AI as a deceptive force in her own living room,
Right. On a very personal level.
The Luv Doc takes that micro fear and inflates it to a macro geopolitical extreme.
Yeah.
Building an absurdly massive straw man.
Okay, so they're escalating the scale of the threat to make a point later.
Exactly.
But the way they build the straw man is relentless.
Oh, it really is. Let's look at the actual text of this geopolitical tangent. Following that initial insult, the Luv Doc theorizes that if anyone created Donald Trump, it wasn't a chatbot. It was the KGB. They wanted to turn the U.S. government into something even more corrupt than the Kremlin.
The Luv Doc explains the mechanics of this imaginary plot, too.
Right.
It relied on compromising material for blackmail and an American electorate that had been, quote, systematically dumbed down by an all-out assault on public education for the last 40 years.
Wow. The Luv Doc doesn't keep it at the national level either. The column zeroes in on Texas state politics. The Luv Doc claims that Republican politicians in Texas, from the governor down to the local dog catcher, are shamelessly acting like Trump's, quote, favorite power bottom.
The Luv Doc is leaning into highly provocative, shocking language to engage a very specific, sympathetic demographic of readers.
It really feels like a cascade of political anxiety.
That's exactly what it is.
Because the Luv Doc continues by stating, Republicans don't even love Jesus this much. Maybe if he was in the Epstein files.
Just incredibly charged rhetoric.
It's just a barrage. The Luv Doc lists off everything wrong right now. $5 a gallon gas, runaway inflation, unwanted wars, unchecked racism, and unfettered capitalism. But this is where the Luv Doc gets genuinely confusing for me, because he tries to force all this political anxiety back into the topic of technology.
Yeah, the Luv Doc attempts to merge the two themes.
Right. He theorizes that there's a conservative think tank funded by corporate interests, and they're using AI to brainstorm ways to ruin things for the average person.
Okay.
But then the Luv Doc drops these bizarre, super specific tech references.
This part is wild.
The Luv Doc says they're using a program called Copilot because someone named Dario is too much of a libcuck to let them use Mythos.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea what that means. Who is Dario? Why Copilot? This reads less like relationship advice and more like a tech bro pitch deck accidentally got mixed up with a late-night cable news transcript.
That is a perfect analogy, because this is where the Luv Doc relies on a very niche cultural fluency, and it's so easy to get lost if you don't follow the tech industry closely.
Well, enlighten me because I'm lost.
So Copilot refers to Microsoft's AI assistant.
Okay, I've heard of that.
And Dario is almost certainly a reference to Dario Amodei, who is the CEO of Anthropic.
And they made Claude, right?
Exactly, the company that created the Claude AI model.
Okay, but why pit them against each other in this random political rant?
Because Anthropic, under Amodei, heavily markets itself as focusing on AI safety and ethical guardrails.
Oh, I see.
Because of those strict guardrails, some critics on the political right have accused their models of being too cautious, too heavily filtered, or, in the parlance of the culture wars, too woke.
Gotcha.
This imaginary right-wing think tank has to use Microsoft's Copilot because Dario Amodei's ethical filters would block their nefarious queries.
That is incredibly specific.
Right. And Mythos seems to be the Luv Doc's stand-in term for the idealized, completely unrestricted AI power that they wish they could access.
That is so dense. To understand a joke in a dating advice column, you literally have to know the corporate philosophies of competing Silicon Valley tech CEOs.
Yeah, but the Luv Doc is using that dense jargon on purpose to paint a picture of technological gatekeeping. He's trying to tap into this broader societal anxiety about who actually controls the algorithm.
And the Luv Doc goes even further into that anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
He asks the reader to suppose that these right-wing figures get their hands on this top-notch AI,
Yeah.
and they use it to mastermind a plan to ensure C-student Caucasian males maintain the hegemony they've enjoyed for 250 years.
It's a lot to take in.
He even references a Proud Boy slush fund and a Trump family get-out-of-jail-free card issued by the Justice Department.
Notice how the sentence structure in the section mirrors the anxiety, too.
What do you mean?
Well, it's breathless. The Luv Doc strings together these massive, complex political grievances in these long, rapid-fire clauses.
He doesn't pause.
It simulates the feeling of a paranoid spiral. He's actively showing you what it looks like when fear of technology is taken to its absolute illogical extreme.
Which, amazingly, finally brings us back to the boyfriend.
Full circle.
How on earth does the Luv Doc connect a Proud Boy slush fund back to a guy who got drunk and sent a weird email?
The Luv Doc uses the sheer weight of that massive tangent to crush the letter writer's fear. The Luv Doc directly addresses the major AI platforms, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini. And he states that you couldn't train something with the word intelligence in its name to be that malicious or that dickish.
Right. The conclusion is that AI isn't some evil genius capable of masterminding a 250-year global political hegemony.
No.
It's just software.
Exactly. And by establishing that AI is just a clumsy tool rather than a grand manipulator, the Luv Doc applies that exact same logic down to the micro level of the relationship.
So if the AI isn't an evil mastermind, then the boyfriend isn't an evil mastermind either.
Precisely.
The Luv Doc points out that using an algorithm to write a more cogent apology doesn't make the boyfriend malicious, and it doesn't even necessarily mean he's insincere.
He offers a much more generous, distinctly human interpretation of what happened.
Which is?
The boyfriend just lacks confidence. He wanted to win his girlfriend back, he wanted to sound impressive, and he just didn't trust his own brain to generate the right combination of words. He was scared of failing, so he used a crutch.
So what does this all mean? Is the Luv Doc arguing that the awkward, messy struggle to find the right words is actually the most important ingredient in a genuine apology?
Yes, that's exactly it.
It's almost like the typos, the awkward pauses, the run-on sentences, those are actually the proof that you care.
Because it shows you're trying.
Right. So the Luv Doc's final ruling to Bothered in Barton Hills is simply, don't break up with him.
Yeah.
But do ask him to never use a machine to convey his emotions again because, quote, that's probably never going to be a good idea.
And the structure of the entire column actually justifies that really simple conclusion.
How so?
By taking us on a tour of the most absurd, high-stakes political manipulations imaginable, the Luv Doc makes the boyfriend's misstep look incredibly small, incredibly common, and completely forgivable.
That makes so much sense.
He wasn't running a psychological operation. He was just a guy who panicked.
Okay. Let me push back on the Luv Doc's conclusion, though.
Sure.
Is it really never a good idea? I mean, we use tools to aid our communication all the time.
We do.
We use spell check. We use Grammarly to fix our tone in professional emails. People buy Hallmark cards literally every day because they can't write poetry themselves.
Right.
So why is an AI chatbot viewed as this unforgivable breach of sincerity while handing someone a greeting card is socially acceptable?
That is a brilliant distinction, actually.
Thank you.
The difference lies in the transparency of the medium.
Transparency.
Yeah. When you hand someone a Hallmark card, you are both acknowledging the transaction.
Yeah.
You're essentially saying, I feel this way, but I couldn't write the poem, so I bought this one for you. The medium is obvious.
Right.
But an AI-generated email is designed to masquerade as the human voice. It's an act of ventriloquism.
Oh, I see. The deception is the problem, not the assistance.
Precisely. If the boyfriend had said, listen, I am so overwhelmed that I asked ChatGPT to help me organize my thoughts and here's what we came up with, it might be a bit weird, right?
Yeah, definitely a little weird.
But it wouldn't be a betrayal.
Right.
It is the fact that he tried to pass off the flawless, frictionless output of a machine as his own emotional labor. When you're hurt, you want to see the person who hurt you grapple with their actions.
You want to see them sweat a little bit.
Exactly. The perfection of the AI removes the human friction, and in an apology, the friction is the currency of sincerity.
The struggle is the sincerity.
Yes.
The fact that you are sweating over the keyboard trying to fix what you broke, that actually proves that the relationship matters to you.
And that's how the Luv Doc effectively strips away the science fiction dread of AI and reduces it to a very mundane reality. It's just a shortcut.
Right.
And in matters of the heart, shortcuts rarely work.
Wow. We covered an incredible amount of ground today.
We really did.
We started on a breezy patio watching a dog play fetch. We took a jarring detour through KGB conspiracies, public education funding, and the ideological battlegrounds of Silicon Valley CEOs.
Quite the road trip.
Right. And we somehow landed safely back on a very grounded, very human truth about the necessity of emotional effort.
Which really highlights a massive transitional phase we are living through right now.
Definitely.
The technology is advancing faster than our social etiquette. We are constantly having to renegotiate where these powerful tools belong in our deeply personal lives, and importantly, where they need to be kept out.
Which leaves us with a lot to chew on.
Yeah.
So if you are listening to this, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over.
Okay.
As these AI tools become more integrated into our daily lives, and as they get better at mimicking our voices, what happens to us?
It's a scary thought.
If we continually outsource our most difficult, uncomfortable, emotional labor to algorithms, whether that's drafting an apology, navigating a conflict, or expressing deep empathy, do we risk slowly losing our own human capacity to formulate complex feelings?
Wow.
Are we letting an emotional muscle atrophy because we refuse to do the heavy lifting ourselves? Or are we just finally gaining the communication tools we've always needed to bridge the gap between what we feel inside and what we can actually say out loud?
It is a profound question about whether we are augmenting our humanity or eroding it.
Because at the end of the day, when you receive that heartfelt message, you have to ask yourself, do you want to hear from the person you love or the software hiding in their browser tab?
Well said.
Thank you all for joining us on this Luv Doc podcast. We will catch you next time.
To read the column that spawned this podcast, go to austinchronicle.com/columns/the Luv Doc. There are probably worse things to do with your time, right?